Colin. Now, back in March, at the beginning of March, we introduced you to this company, Colossal, the genetic manipulators who are trying to raise money for Jurassic Park, it seems. Now, if you remember, they are into gene editing to recreate what they say, so let's quote this, the lost megafauna and other creatures of the past, but only the ones they say that had a measurably positive impact on our fragile ecosystems, like the woolly mammoth, if you remember. They hope that having mammoths running around the Arctic tundra will encourage grasses to grow, which will capture loads of carbon dioxide. So, if you remember, they gene edited a mouse to give it long hair as the first step to getting to the woolly mammoth. But don't worry, they'll only start experimenting on actual elephants when they're convinced the process is safe and effective. Well, anyway, they've taken a step forward with the creation of 3 dire wolves. So this is the announcement page on their website. The 3 dire wolves are called Romulus, Remus, and Khaleesi, in a sop to Game of Thrones. At least the last one is, where dire wolves were a thing. Colossal says that on the 1st of October 2024, for the first time in human history, Colossal successfully restored a once-eradicated species through the science of de-extinction. After a 10,000 plus year absence, our team is proud to return the dire wolf to its rightful place in the ecosystem. Colossal's innovations in science, technology, and conservation made it possible to accomplish something that's never been done before: the revival of a species from its long-standing population of 0. Well, of course, this is total nonsense. The reality is that they took an existing animal, a grey wolf, and they played with its genome very slightly. They, in fact, adjusted 14 very specific genes to make it look like the extinct dire wolf, and then they declare that they've brought back the extinct species. They didn't bring back the extinct species, and their claims are just as fictional as the CGI dire wolves in Game of Thrones. Now, remember, in this country, this nonsense is enabled by the Genetic Technology Precision Breeding Act 2023. And if you remember when it was introduced, Joe Churchill, Minister for Agri-Innovation, said new genetic technologies could help us tackle some of the biggest challenges of our age around food security, climate change, and biodiversity loss. But as Charles reported some time ago, this isn't just about vanity projects like woolly mammoths and dire wolves. This is happening to our food supply. And so the question is, what could possibly go wrong? Well, let's have a look at it, because meanwhile in Australia, efforts are afoot to deal with the cane toad problem there by genetically engineering those animals to create a cane toad tadpole which never grows up. Instead, it remains a tadpole, a cannibalistic tadpole that voraciously eats other cane toad eggs. And the nut jobs who've done this claim this will reduce the wild population of cane toads, which is out of control in Australia. Now, the project, which is a collaboration between a number of universities and foundations and also state governments, has so far received permits to run experiments in controlled settings in Western Australia and the Northern Territory. And the gene-edited tadpoles have not been tested in the wild yet, but field trials are expected in Western Australia later this year, after what they laughingly call a risk assessment. Now, the depressing irony here, of course, is that cane toads were initially released in Queensland in 1935 in order to control cane beetles, but ended up creating a bigger problem than the one that they were trying to solve in the first place. So again, I'm going to ask, what could possibly go wrong? What could possibly go wrong, Charles?
Well, I think the list is probably limitless. And as far as I recall, when Pandora's box was opened, it was not a great outcome. So I think this is absolutely extraordinary in so many respects. I mean, it's completely beside the point whether the technology exists or not. The idea that the introduction or the removal of one species can be done in such a way as to not disrupt that ecosystem with a net negative outcome is perfectly extraordinary. Nobody knows. And so it's the same, with all of these things, to suggest that just because it can be done, that therefore somehow it's legitimate to do it, is perfectly bizarre. And you referred to the gene editing, the spring trials this year. I mean, if you read the safety data or the the provisions in place to try to stop anything happening. They're absolutely laughable. It's just, you just put a 20-meter strip around the edge of a field that you're growing something in, and then you hope for the best. I mean, that is it. That is literally what you do. So this is, I mean, it's a terrible joke, but it is a joke.
Absolutely.